Hi there, my name is Mike, and today we're going to go over with you the new RDI AVALON railing system. It's a powder-coated aluminum, and we're just going to go through the basic installation process to put a horizontal rail section together for you. I'm going to start by installing the post. It comes as a 39-inch post that you see packaged here, and I've got one already out of the package, which I'm going to show you next. Taking the post out of the box, and as you see, it comes just with a few parts inside there. The post itself, and we've got a base plate, which I'll tell you about in just a second, and then also wrapped separate, you're going to get your skirt and cap. And then also you'll find, just so you know where to find it, inside the post after you open it, if you tip it over, the two composite shims are packaged inside the post. All right, for this part here, you can obviously see we're not working on a deck, but this is for informational purposes. But if you are working on a deck, you're gonna wanna mark a line where all these are, so your posts are all nice and straight and in a line. But for this situation, we're gonna keep this post 1 inch off the edge of our platform here, and then just square it up. Got the drill. The holes are preset to do a 5/16 of an inch lag, and that is one way to do it. You just want to make sure that there's enough support underneath your deck. If there's not adequate support with your bracing, then you'll need to install a block underneath the deck to accept these. And in other situations where code's requiring it not to be lagged but to be through bolted, RDI does include this plate with the post, and this would go underneath that plate, and you'll drill the holes right through the top, the decking, and the plate, and then these will be bolted from underneath. But today we're going to show you how to lag it on. So now that we've got this post in place, I'm going to drill my starter holes for these legs. Now I'm going to put the legs in. Again, it's 5/16 of an inch. Keep it a little bit loose. Now this is where the shims come into play. You'll check the level of your post to see where it's at, and the shims can go underneath to put this post at level on your deck. They're a composite shim, so actually we're pretty darn good that way. We're actually pretty level, but if you do need the shims, they just go under, and you can cut these with a utility knife or wood chisel or something like that. They're easy to cut. So we'll continue putting in the rest of the legs. All right, we're just finishing tightening the last leg. There, it's good and snug. You just make sure all of them are snug down to your deck and your substrate. And then you can put the post skirt over at this time. And that is pretty simple. Slides over the top and hides your legs like that. We're gonna follow the same process and install the second post, lining it up, and then we'll be ready to install the railing. Okay, we got the post on. Now the next stage is going to be to put on the AVALON railing. As you can see, these already come pre-assembled from the factory, and they're protected nice for shipping purposes. All the balusters are in place. You can get these in 6 or 8 foot horizontal or 6 and 8 foot stair sections. This is the 36-inch rail height, but it is also available in a 42-inch for commercial use. We're going to open this up next and show you how to install this to our post. Okay, we've got the railing all unpackaged now. I took the brackets and screws off of it. One thing I want to show you too, this railing is secured with what they call Securatec. It's their way to keep these balusters tight to the top and bottom rail, and also you don't have to worry about any screws loosening over time or balusters rattling with inside your railing, which you do with a lot of other. There is a little bit of play with this, so if you're doing like handicap rail or stair coming up, this will give you a little bit of play to get that angle. So we're going to set this aside for now though, as we put the brackets on the post. Okay, included in our bracket box, RDI is helping us by giving us a template where to put our brackets. So this makes it real easy, so there's not a lot of measuring or anything involved. When you unfold this, you're going to see in the bottom here, it's going to tell you where to start depending on what pole or post you're using. Right here it says cut for Avalon post, which is what we have. So I'm going to cut it at that line. And that's where our base is going to start. We've got our guide taped to our post, and we're going to pre-drill. As you can see, the holes are marked where we're going to put this. We're going to pre-drill using an 1/8 inch drill bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And trying to keep that as centered as possible. One thing to note with the paper template that they give you, it's better to tape it on, pre-drill the holes, and then remove it to use on your other side, unless you have multiple posts and multiple papers. So now we've got our square drive bit, and we are going to install our bottom bracket. Through there into our pre-drilled hole. And the second one. Okay, we've got the brackets installed now on both posts. So we're going to move on next to how we fit the railing on here. So we've got our rail section out now, and what we want to do is measure so our balusters are equal distance away from the post, so we get a nice balanced panel when it's cut. So in order to do that, we want the space from this post to the edge of the first baluster the same as from this post to the edge of the first baluster. Much easier to do if you got somebody helping you, but we did put this up here, and to balance this properly, we're going to need to keep the edge of that post 2 1/4 inches away from each post, and that'll give us a nice balanced look. Now when we cut this though, instead of cutting 2 1/4, we need to take a 1/4 inch off of there so that we have room where our screws are attaching the brackets on the railing. So we're going to cut this at 2 inches off of each end. I'll mark that. I'll take it to the saw inside the shop, and we'll come back with the panel and show you how to put it in once we get it cut here. We're back from getting it cut here. Cut it to size where our marks were. And now what we want to do, and one thing I could have mentioned earlier too, is there is a top and bottom to this. You'll notice the bottom rail is a little bit wider for appearance, and you'll see why the top is narrower in a little bit. But included in the brackets are these caps. And these caps we're going to place over the cut end of our bottom rail, so they'll just fit over real nice and snug there. And we'll do that on both sides. And then we're going to carefully place this in here over our brackets and center it over the top. And once you get centered over the top, they'll push right down into place like that. Now that we've got the rail set in place, our next step is to secure the foot block at the bottom. Each 6-foot rail section will come with one of these, and an 8-foot section will come with 2. All right, we're going to put this under here and put it into place. All right, once you get it into place, you want to put an 1.5 inch screw to hold that down. Because of our surface, I'm going to just pre-drill a little bit to get it started. Okay, the foot block is now secured in place. We have this decorative cap that does come with the kit too, and there's this plastic plug that goes, it just slides in there, and then there's a hole there that it'll snap into, and you just push it over place, and now you got the screw is hidden, and it looks really nice. Our next step now is to choose our top rail. RDI has different choices for the Avalon series. We've chose the Pellinor style, one of the most popular sellers for today. And what we're going to do is we'll take this out of the box, and we're going to measure the length of our top rail right now, and we'll cut this to match that. Now that we've measured and cut our Pellinor top rail to size for our Avalon railing, we're going to get this ready by putting the caps. These come with the top rail, and we're gonna slide these over our cut ends. Put one on both ends. There. Next, you're gonna place your assembly over, your top rail assembly over the top of the top rail here. And then you are going to tap it down, and what you want to make sure too is that these go over the top of the brackets here, and they'll snap to that. It helps to have a rubber mallet around for this step. Now that the top rail is on, we're just going to screw it in place by pre-drilling the 2 1/8-inch holes under each where the holes are, and then we'll come back and put the screws in, and our rail will be secure. We've got our railing together. All we've got left to do is tap on our post caps, which is very simple. And there you have it, the Avalon railing put together from RDI. Very simple to do, very good looking, strong, safe, secure, no rattling balusters to worry about. Comes in colors of white and satin black and gloss black.